Point 2 and 3 is because of the widespread consensus among emergency experts that there is no way to safely evacuate people within the radius experts agree on. You persistently hold to the 10-mile radius and even ignored a study by Sandia Labs that you requested nearly 30 years ago, which found that 17 miles would be the proper evacuation radius. And more hypocritical, during the disaster in Japan, you advised Americans within a 50-mile radius of the accident to evacuate. Well, why, as the New York Times asked in its March 17th editorial, wouldn't a worst-case scenario have merit the same caution with Indian Point and in this area? I'm here to let you know tonight that the safety of those who live in the shadow of Indian Point deserve the same safety considerations as those who were in danger in Japan. Thank you. That this would be an admission you have spent years dodging. There's no way to evacuate Indian Point, even within the 10-mile radius, let alone a 50-mile radius. Furthermore, to reference our governor again, there is a chance there could be an accident. We would have to evacuate. There are all sorts of technical risks, and I leave those to the experts to cite. I am most troubled by the Lamont Doherty findings that Indian Point could be at risk for an earthquake. You said at the government meeting yesterday that while you respect Lamont Doherty's seismic research about the plant, that you were in agreement with only 90% of it. I can say that in my experience with Lamont, they have been 100% accurate in all their determinations. There's a crisis of confidence with your agency. The recent New York Times article was not the first time your agency has been described as too close to the nuclear industry. I ask that you, the NRC, start to relinquish your persistent resistance to the findings of highly qualified and credentialed experts, James Lee Witt and Lamont Doherty, among many distinguished experts you have disregarded. I'm here to remind you that if their findings make it more difficult for the industry, you should be even more welcoming those findings, because it's your job to protect the public, not the industry. What it's like to be held under a microscope. I understand accusations, so please take my advice. Act in the public's interest, and your credibility as an agency will be restored. Require that evacuation plans and seismic threats are included in the relicense application. If you do, I'll be the first to sing your praises. Thank you.
Okay, we have approximately 80 to 90 people who want to make statements or ask questions. So wait a minute. If you don't let me do what I'm supposed to do and get people to move on by asking that we let them talk, everyone here, I'm going to call three, and those three people are going to come up to the microphone and make their statement. Michelle Lee, Laura Height, and Margot Shepard. Michelle Lee first. Is Michelle Lee here? Laura? Yes. Wait a minute, before you start talking, can you get Margot Shepard also? Please come up and stand in line so we can get you three of you. And Michelle Lee first, please. Thank you. Again, limit your comments to approximately a minute to a minute and a half. We have a lot of people who want to make a statement. If you prolong this, we won't get everyone in the time that we have allowed. Thank you. Go ahead.
You're so used to me rattling on, aren't you?
No, it's not you.
Not this year, that's okay. maybe I'll sort of Fukushima it out. I want to bring up two quick things that nobody seems to be focusing on. One is the issue of global warming and the effects of degradation on the pipes, on all the subterranean systems, and the increased danger presented by storms. We almost had a tornado come through this area yesterday. They were watching, Con Ed told me they're watching it very carefully, but not luckily for Massachusetts, but went off to Massachusetts. We've just seen the damage, the ravagement of an entire region wrecked by major storm activity in other parts of the United States. I hate to say it, that's coming here. And if you look so narrowly on simply the ability of a plant to survive that kind of storm without looking at the wider picture, as we see happening in Japan, where an entire region is devastated. How do you get the first responders to a plant when the roads are obstructed? How do you get the water pressure when you have a region which is in floods, where all the outside power is cut? Not for a day or a week, but possibly for a month or more. I just watched, yes, I watched the FERC hearings. That's how much of a nerd I am. 2 friggin' hours yesterday spent watching FERC hearings. What did they say related to our plant? Well, transformers. If a major transformer blows, well, we don't have the capacity, if that's happening in more than one area, to address it. If you have a regional disaster, every single point that you are relying on to be of redundancy and safety and in response falls apart. Now shut up. Thank you.
Question, just if I could just address the question. I just want to assure you that the design basis of a plant does consider all natural hazards.
No. Right.
And relative to the impact on an area, that we have seen events in which large areas have been impacted, and we've taken those lessons. And as example, Turkey Point back in, I think it was 1992. The entire area was devastated through Hurricane Andrew. Turkey Point, the plant stood there, was able to, that was the only structure that was remaining. It was operated, it was shut down safely, it was maintained safely for days. And there's a number of those examples, and there's, things that we learned from that to try to make the process more robust. So that type of thing does get rolled into our process and our analysis and so forth.
Hello, my name is Laura Height. I'm Senior Environmental Associate with the New York Public Interest Research Group. With all due respect, I want to say that I have 2 questions for you that I'm going to answer for you to save time, and you can correct me afterwards if I'm wrong. First is, has the Nuclear Regulatory Commission considered all possible accident scenarios, including natural, human error, mechanical breakdowns, and I'm going to guess the answer is no. My next question is, has the NRC considered all possible multiple scenarios where multiple factors contribute to an increasing spiral of effects, which is what we saw at Fukushima, which we've seen at other places? Have you considered every single combination of possibilities when you work out the mathematical numbers and get to your 1 in 10,000? And my guess is the answer is no. And we're looking at a calamity unfolding in Japan. It's nowhere nearly under control because of a multiple number of problems, not just one single isolated problem. Spent fuel is a major issue here. We're very concerned about over 1,000 tons of spent fuel stored in fuel pools, just water protecting us. We're not talking about a containment zone. The evacuation zone, you've heard from many people, we've got a 2-mile evacuation zone. In Japan, there's a 50-mile evacuation zone. The dead zone around Fukushima is greater than 10 miles. Oh. So this is, right off the bat, an unacceptable risk posed.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad there was no major accident here in 2010. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission has a lot to do to make this plant safe, if that's even possible, which most of us in this room don't believe. I want to make, to be brief, I'm shortening my comments, is that the NRC will typically say the risk of a major meltdown is 1 in 10,000, or 1 in a very large number. Well, since 1957, according to Natural Resources Defense Council, there have been more than 12 cases of core reactor damage worldwide. That averages to a major accident every 4 to 5 years. Do we want Indian Point to be next?
No!
Thank you.
Any response? Margot, please.
Hey. First of all, I really want to thank Diane from the NRC, who truly had the best interest of the health of the public at heart when she asked the management to turn off the air conditioning in here, which was a proper use of energy.
Hold on 1 second. You keep opening the door,
Please keep those doors closed.
and you let the air condition out.
Yeah,
You keep
please.
closing it, and you keep, okay.
Please keep those doors closed.
She's
That's
gonna get
true.
the answer today. But you gotta keep the doors closed. If you don't, the air is running out of the building.
But now it is becoming more comfortable in here, and we want people to be able to stay for the duration of the meeting, and that is keeping the health and safety of the public in mind. So I've been coming to these meetings for about 10 years now, and words are not really enough right now, so I'm going to do something else. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to ever hear it. We don't have to hear it. We can't prevent natural disasters. We can't prevent tsunamis and hurricanes and volcanoes and whatever else might happen. But we can prevent an accident from a nuclear reactor.
Thank you. I'd like to call the next 4 people up, if you guys will let me. I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's Canem Ozul Durham. Is that right? Come on up. LeClaire, Sonny Armour, Dave Sugar. Sorry.
Perhaps again, if I can also add here, I understand certainly the emotion here, and I understand that we want to give you an opportunity to make the statements. Certainly, if you do just want a statement, that's fine. Also, however, if you do want a question answered, please let me know, and we'll try our best to answer that question.
Canem Ozul.
Donna.
Keach LeClaire, is she here? Are he here? Armour, are you here? Okay, come on over. And Dave Sugar, are you here? Right here. Dave, can you step behind these people and get in line, please? Thank you. Pronounce your name again, I'm sorry.
Donna.
Okay, thank you.
Doesn't matter. I am here with Greenpeace. I am going to preface my question with 2 points. One, in this room, I do not see a lot of people in their early 30s. It is my fault personally to bring those people into this room next to us. Second question. I do not know how you're all expecting us to take you seriously. You have never the country. And the question is, and I want you to answer it because I did not hear any answers questions. In point when there is a natural gas pipeline running just a few hundred feet from the plant.